know what to expect exactly when it comes to his play.
Okay.
Effectively, we are going to see the Greninja out. Now, another interesting thing from Kraven is that his play is nasty, but he is also a very emotional player.
Okay,
and when you are playing with somebody from EKING's caliber, for example, it is pretty difficult for you to maintain control within the game. So it's going to be a battle with EKING, but also kind of a battle with himself.
Yeah, because no matter which way you slice it, when you approach, you're dealing with a myriad of issues trying to fight Pac-Man. You have the aerials on a shield, you have just the strong defensive play overall. So when you're trying to dash attack, dash grab, it's very similar to what we saw earlier of Captain versus, I forgot again, the one who was playing Meta Knight. Venom. So another Marvel character. From the same type of universe. How did I forget that? But so having that type of play style is hard to navigate around a character like this, but he is doing well so far. That F tilt though at ledge will guarantee a ledge trap pretty much every time. I do like how Kraven is actually navigating pretty solidly around the aerials from EKING, particularly with things like that downer. He's actually been able to keep this even.
Yeah, it's not surprising to me either, considering the fact that Kraven has won tournaments before, and he has fought against the likes of EKING and Zayon. He has managed to take a couple of sets too. So he does have the ability as a player to actually give him a run for his money. The key is going to be for him to actually maintain that patience and composure throughout the set, especially since EKING's Pac-Man, as I mentioned, is a slow starter, but once he gets going, he gets going.
Yeah, that was a really good attempt, but that Fire Hydrant getting it away at the last second, and F-Tilt, such a good option. You may not think it's going to hit you at that range below ledge, but it does. It just drifts underneath. Also, just leave Pac-Man players alone when they have Galaga over by the ledge. I've been preaching this issue for years, especially when they're on ledge, but you're going to take 40 to 70. Like, it's just going to happen. You want to fight them at center, make them use it. That way, it's less likely they're going to get the full string.
And needs to be careful right now. He did use the water, actually push himself into the front, and EKING was not expecting it. Actually trying to use a little bit of hydro pump to maintain EKING in the air. But it's not something that you can scoff at as he gets the get-up option with a fair to actually put it tied. He's doing a pretty good job so far.
That was pretty good, too, considering how quickly EKING has kind of been challenging him at ledge. And it's not the easiest thing to, even ledge shot Pac-Man period because of how quick his aerials are from ledge. So Kraven only taking 40 originally, at 64 now, but this is a couple neutral wins away. I do like how EKING now has shifted his approach from setting up Fire Hydrant and items to instead going with dash attacks and aerials to beat these dash attacks. It's been working more effective compared to the start of the game.
Yeah, Kraven has been missing a lot of the bad dash attacks that he's been throwing out, which are very important, especially at the beginning, to actually set up those combos with an up smash to rack up the damage. But as soon as he gets that fair and puts EKING in a disadvantaged state, it's going to be a lot easier for him to actually get some stuff going. The bell is going to hit with the up smash. It's not quite going to be enough at 101%.
Yeah, that bell is the stop sign in this game, or in this matchup especially. Once you see it, everything is now in EKING's control. You have to navigate around it so hard. He doesn't have it on line though, but that dare, oh my goodness, you're not going in early, but the setups off the Fire Hydrant are so scary, especially with a fast faller like this.
Yeah, hydro pump angles are doing really good for Kraven just to avoid any type of two-frame situation like we saw beforehand, right? So 90% onto EKING right now. It's definitely going to be the hit after using that counter by Greninja and setting up the ledge trapping situation one more time, which I think is pretty smart for this matchup considering the fact that you can't get, basically you can't get back Pac-Man.
Yeah, it's also kind of hard to cage a Greninja most of the time, but EKING is doing a good job of walking him. And here come the fairs, but that's a big punish. Actually only a down smash, but it's still set up a ledge trap, and he's got him at fair ranges, which you can see he is hunting for pretty hard right now.
He's looking for that a little more. Ajax, do you think that maybe the Greninja should go for down tilt a little bit more just to set up those combos? Or do you think that's just because he went for the down tilt in the first place, EKING actually manages to punish him with the forward tilt right on the ledge? I
mean, to be honest, if I'm Kraven, I need to start setting up an approach to get forward throw at ledge soon because he hasn't really attempted the mix-up yet. He's going to find the down tilt fair. It's not going to be enough, but that's the type of moment that can get frustrating because now you have to deal with EKING, who has... Pretty sure he has Galaga. Yeah, just respect him. Forward air comes through. Yeah, Galaga's at ledge. You never go challenge it because he could have gotten a kill combo out of that.
Yeah, only grabs it 2 times. Just for people who don't know, once you grab it once, you can grab it one more time, and then afterwards, it's non-void. Nevertheless, the forward smash is going to be enough to take away that stock. So we saw good things by Kraven, but EKING was doing a really good job, like you mentioned beforehand, actually avoiding those dash attacks in the first place. He was getting hit by those at the beginning of the game. That's how Kraven actually racked up the damage in the first place.
Yep.
But now the adaptations are coming out by EKING, so now it's Kraven's turn to actually get that adaptation on the way.
Yep, you could be a very hyper-aggressive, strong player, but once you run into a wall like EKING, it will make you question every approach you take from that point forward, especially when your kill confirms are too far away to land. That's a part of why I think we're seeing a switch here to Town and City. It is also pretty good because although FD is going to be a problem, it's not as bad, or the FD layout, it's not as bad because you can, when you do get a win, you can possibly just kill him with the small blast zones on the sides. But it's also solid because you're not going to really deal with as many of those platform traps that Pac-Man will do on, say, like a small battlefield, or even Pokemon Stadium to a degree because of what he can cover. That being said, EKING is taking advantage of it so far, but I think it's a pretty solid counter pick here for Kraven.
Yeah, he definitely found something with a forward air. He is recognizing that most of Greninja's moves when it comes to horizontal movement specifically are going to come out way slower than what Pac-Man is doing. So as soon as Kraven is going to try to throw out something, he's just going to go in, throw out fair, go back.
Yeah, and to be fair, you're going to die to Pac-Man's forward smash early. It doesn't matter where you are. Like, it's going to happen. So take that out of the equation by going into the stage. But one thing that he hasn't been able to solve is these F-tilts on ledge. They're instantly reactable. Going out with the down air, it's a really good option, but he forces the jump because he did so much at ledge. You want to run away, and he calls him out. Now EKING seems like he has a big understanding of Kraven.
Yeah, vicious coverage overall by EKING. Just learning how Kraven wants to approach this. And again, it goes back to horizontal and vertical offense. As soon as Kraven tries to go into the Pac-Man, he's just going to start throwing out the fair, which is, if not the best fair in the game, one of.
It's up there.
It's definitely up there, and as soon as he goes for another defensive option, he's just going to throw out Nair out of shield because it's one of the safest moves as well.
Yeah, one of the best down tilts to the game too, though, is attached to that Greninja, which he is trying to use to create more frame traps. Unfortunately, he had the right idea, but he just missed the timing, so forward smash still doesn't come through, and for Kraven, he's got to find something. There we go, gets the down tilt, but even here on Town, with the DI up into the corner, he did not fall. That is going to frustrate you over time. He does have him at fourth throw ranges, but if I'm EKING, I'm constantly pressing options out of shield to not get fourth thrown right now.
Constant tech chases and just using the items to full advantage just to maintain that stage control. EKING is cooking right now, and Kraven is looking a little lost.
Yeah, Kraven just trying to hunt for an option to get a kill here. Obviously, up air, it will work now, but that's if you can get it out from underneath that fire hydrant. And EKING is just playing out of shield well. He's constantly tech chasing, like we said before. That forwarder sets up everything he needs. You can't get up in front of that. Yep, you can't get up in front of that. Covers neutral get up every time. It will two-frame. If your best hope is you roll on and you get hit on the other side and you DI it well enough that you don't die.
165% now onto the Pac-Man. Enough of extra credit, too. He was trying to avoid any type of combination, throwing it out a counter because he figured EKING was actually applying even more pressure. But the reaction of EKING is actually paying a lot of dividends and just reading where the Greninja is going to go.
Yeah, if you are ever struggling with a matchup like Greninja, this is exactly how you approach it. Just force them to not be able to use dash attack as much as possible, take away down tilt as an option, and now they're going to hunt for straight hits, and every single straight hit has led to nothing. Oh my god, the option coverage from that setup scared me, and that down air should take, no, he's gonna DI to the top corner, but
it's a little bit.
It's writing on the wall at this point.
Yep, Hydra's gonna come out for 129%, just Greninja trying to stay alive as much as possible. Kraven is trying to find some sort of formula. That's not quite gonna be enough now. The bell is gonna come out, and actually, the bell is gonna work as bait to make Greninja move forward with the fair. EKING recognizes, puts shield up, and just goes for up smash out of it.
Yep. I think one of the biggest things I saw out of Kraven that was working well was his aerial approach game, particularly with down air, occasionally nairs too, but he was getting damage off of that. Problem is, his down air only leads to so much. Like, most of those setups you're getting out are not real. So you could just, if you know the matchup, you're going to avoid them. And EKING just kept avoiding them. It's like, look, I'll take one down air. That's fine. That's cool. But you're going to take 40 off of my Galaga. You're going to take